Good day, everyone. My name is Leon Angulo.
I'm Jamabel Bautista.
I'm Katrina Chason.
I'm Kyla Latorre.
I'm Marjorie Zia Maharais.
And I'm Sarah Monhe, and we will be doing our case study on how Facebook is changing your internet.
So to start, we will define what is Facebook first. So when Facebook was launched last 2004, and by who? Of course, Mark Zuckerberg, along with his classmates namely Eduardo Saverin, Dustin Moskovitz, and Chris, while they were in Harvard. So Facebook is a social network, just like how it was named in the movie. So being social beings, this is very important for us, and this is why social media has become an essential for us to connect with anyone in the world. And with that, it became the central part of our day-to-day communication, especially now during the pandemic. So uh, now it is estimated to have a population of 2 billion all over the world. And fun fact, 1 in 5 minutes spent online is spent in Facebook. So this is why the community of Facebook is getting bigger and bigger now. So other apps under Facebook are shown in the logo in your screen: Messenger, WhatsApp, and Instagram. So, and we can say that these are other social media platforms as well. So, with that, now that we know what Facebook is, we will now proceed to the impact that Facebook has made to our society. And for our next reporter,
Okay, so as established earlier, Facebook has become a necessity for real world success because it is integrated to our in our day-to-day tasks, like making a page for your business, reading like daily news for about politics, and leisurely sharing posts on about memes. So this further delves into Facebook's platform used as a means of income. So in Nairobi, a telecom provider actually gave its customers free access to Facebook. So their whole internet experience might just be about Facebook. And they use free internet Facebook to sell, for example, like their bags, which means they don't have to pay for sales tax, data, internet fees, and rental fees for their physical stores. And although this may have its advantages, this also means that their entire livelihood is dependent on Facebook. So how Facebook can get a percentage or cut of the money they make on Facebook, or how the government can add fees on Facebook. And however, like choosing to stay away from using Facebook for your business already implies a big loss of customer base, which ultimately leads to Facebook's digital colonialism. So you can say that Facebook is the platform that bridges the world, as they put satellites into space to develop internet beaming solar powered drones in order to bring connectivity in hard to reach areas. And this makes it a very powerful platform because there are many aspects that was mentioned earlier regarding communication that they control, and that power comes with great danger if not like responsibly used.
So moving on to the dangers of Facebook, we start with the issues on freedom of speech. Anyone can post anything online. While that may be a good thing, it has its dangers. One of which is that it can be a reason for fake news to be rampant. It can be in the form of an article or just some other post that your friend posted that you believe. And since Facebook offers free data in some other countries, there are no other access to information. Facebook then becomes a powerful tool for political agenda. So just imagine its impact if it only started with fake news. And again, since there's no other access to information for other countries, there becomes a Facebook reality, which was termed in the video. Facebook reality is run by algorithms that are designed to lure the audience into seeking more content and keeping the Facebook community growing. In addition to that, Facebook has control in such a way that they promote free speech, while in other countries, they censor certain content. They push for encryption in some places, while in others, they fight for privacy laws because it could harm their advertising business. So as you can see, Facebook is not for democracy. It is a business, and their top priority is to keep you using Facebook. Companies also take advantage of this app as a platform, which makes them not in line with the government all the time. The government then wants to regulate and have control over such platforms, which in itself defeats the purpose of Facebook, of the purpose that Facebook is trying to sell. which is that they are for freedom of speech. So, in conclusion, Facebook became an inevitable powerful tool that countries are still using and trying to navigate. It has good and bad sides, but it is important to remember that Facebook is a business and their business interests has the ability to change the internet, which then moves us to the next topic.
Over a billion users differentiate Facebook from all the other networking sites. So from an application formed in the grounds of Harvard University with over 1,000 users to over 1.2 billion users all over the world today. So the key differentiation between Facebook with other social networking sites is the fact that they continuously innovate and adapt to the changing times. They try to continuously make the avenue of communication and sharing better. So some examples of these are the Facebook wall, the newsfeed, the timelines, Facebook Marketplace, tags, attachment, and more. They make it easier to share our experiences, our feelings, and our thoughts at this given time with our friends and our families all over the world.
Okay, so for our first social issue in relation to science and technology is that Facebook focused political parties win. In the 2008 victory of Obama in the US is that he hired Jim Messina for his campaign in 2008. And then the Labor had Matthew McGregor, who was on the front line for the online fight against Mitt Romney in 2012. For the UK 2015 general election, both main parties, Labour and the Conservatives, showed how important social media was for their campaigns. But the parties who ruthlessly focused on Facebook came out on top. Both the Conservatives and the Scottish National Party's social media managers told Channel 4 News that the platform was their main concern. The Conservatives were said to have spent 120,000 euros a month on Facebook and on Messina's advice because they could have target floating voters accurately rather than wasting time having 1 million conversations like Labor. Next slide, please. Second is Facebook has been a platform for organizing revolutions. Through the Arab Spring, it was dubbed in Twitter the Twitter Revolution. Organizing demonstrations and direct actions has been revolutionized by Facebook. According to Manchester University's Olga Onok, she found that Facebook had been the key medium for reaching half of all the Euromaidan protesters in Ukraine. Facebook posts signaled the start of the Maidan protests during the hours after it was announced that Ukraine was not did not sign a free trade and association agreement with the European Union. Onok found out about that, and the post organized live action, not just online anger. Many of those interviewed in Onok's research said they relied on Facebook for the truth about what was happening, unable to trust traditional media. But the barrier between social media activism and actual revolution was a source of frustration for many interviewees by Onok. Next slide, please. And now for the third one is that Facebook makes news, breaks news, and decides what is news. Roughly 71% of 18 to 24-year-olds say that the internet is their main news source, and 63% of users overall, according to the Pew Research Center, about a third of Facebook users post about politics and government. Most people will first encounter a piece of journalism or an item of breaking news via Facebook or other social media, and most of those encounters will be on mobiles. Individual articles are now a news brand's showcase and not the site's homepage, and users might never have to leave the site to get their news. For example, is instant articles, which we will see stories that run within Facebook. It allows news companies to sell ads around their articles, gaining them 100% of that revenue. While Facebook can also sell ads around that article with 70% of the revenue from the social networks advertising, also going to the news companies. Next reporter.
Okay, so another issue we want to discuss is that Facebook can have a negative impact on its users. So users can feel a general tug to portray and sell themselves a certain way through their profiles. Some of us, do our best to present ourselves on Facebook by how we want our Facebook friends to see us. So some people get busy taking pictures first before living the moment we are in so that we could post it in Facebook. Additionally, going to the second point, Facebook can be so central to the social lives of some people that if you don't have an account or if you don't have an active account, then basically you don't exist to your acquaintances. So since you don't have an image for yourself online, for the people to see, you don't have a presence in real life as well. So, in effect to this, some users might either become narcissistic because of being continuously praised for the perfect image they put out there, or users can develop psychological disorders like antisocial behavior and aggressive tendencies for not meeting the standards of the Facebook world. So, next slide. In relation to this, the impact of the perfect image can go from an individual level into a business scale, which is a part of today's pyramid schemes. So, for those who don't know, pyramid scheme is when top level members of a company recruit new members underground. So, with little to no formal processes involved, they recruit newer members in order to gain more profit. So before the internet, this pyramid scheme can can occur offline. So they had to go out and talk to people in person to sign up people under them in a pyramid scheme. Now they can share a post on Facebook or message them privately and reach thousands of potential business partners or clients with just a few clicks. So a lot of social media is selling an image to the world. So those deep in the multi-level management businesses often try to project an image of their perfect businesses that make them a ton of money with little work, with barely any focus on the actual product. So this time, it's a whole organization trying to put out a perfect image in order to fish for new recruits. So, next slide.
Okay, so with this, we would like to ask the question, in the Philippines, how did Facebook change or break the internet?